Menstrual hygiene is one of the most essential parts of a woman's life. Poor menstrual hygiene can increase the risk of infection and cause many health problems. In many societies, it is still considered a taboo to even talk about menstruation, which results in serious health consequences. To speak on this topic, we are joined by the project officer at Women's Empowerment Desk, Tenzing Tsetan. Tenzing La, lovely having you here. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
So, Tenzing La, to start with, I studied in a convent school and I was surrounded by women. And when I first got my period, I was quite afraid or even like embarrassed to talk about it, even to the girls in my hostel. And the weirdest thing was that I didn't know why I was even having those feelings. So, Tenzing La, my first question to you is, why is menstruation considered a taboo, a topic that is not talked about in public? And because of this behavior towards menstruation, what kind of challenges or consequences women normally face?
There are many reasons why it is still a taboo. It is basically because of the cultural and the religious belief that we still that is ingrained in our belief system. So due to that, we think that the menstruating woman is dirty or impure, right? In certain communities, like women are isolated and kept in different places, like even sheds, you know, where you keep animals during their menstruation. So this all shows the society that we live in and our culture also. Secondly, because there's a lack of information on menstruation. So due to that, we have lots of misconception. Then we think that it's a hush-hush thing and we don't even talk about it. And when we talk about it, we are not sure like what we are talking about because we do not know the whole process of menstruation, how and why we bleed and all that. So because of that, there's a culture of silence surrounding the menstruation. It's also related to like the patriarchal system, right? Because of patriarchy, there's a whole lot of control, like patriarchy exerts control over women and their body and their sexuality. And due to that, women do not have the access to like safe menstruation and access to safe sanitation facilities during their menstruation.
So what can be done to remove this stigma?
Right. So first thing first, we need to raise awareness about this issue that menstrual health matters to all, not just women. And secondly, we need to, break the silence that is surrounding the menstruation and also break the myths because as I said before, there are a lot of misconceptions such as like not taking bath while you're menstruating or not exercising or doing anything, just laying back and during menstruation. So all of these, I think it affects the women's self-confidence and disempowers them. So talking about it, like making it a normal conversation, normalizing menstruation, I think this will all help break the taboo surrounding menstruation.
And actually, by not taking bath, you are actually increasing the risk of infections, right?
Yes. That's the issue of hygiene, like that's when like, your hygiene is affected.
Yeah. So, Tenzing La, last month on World Menstruation Day, CTA's Women Empowerment Desk, along with the Health Department, held a series of week-long events regarding menstruation. And one of the events were collecting experienced stories about menstruation. When you were collecting all these experience stories from the young Tibetan girls, what did you find was the most common concern that they have now?
Yes, so 28th May is like recognized as the Menstrual Hygiene Day, and we collected a series of personal experiences from women and girls from schools. And so I think I will take this opportunity to thank them all for sharing because it's very brave to come out and talk about your own like personal period experiences because for some it is still very private, right? So like them coming out, it's a learning experience for many others. So some of the concerns that we have observed in their interviews or in our works in schools and all, that there is still lack of information on the menstrual hygiene because in school, in class, you will have one biology class on reproductive health, and that does not cover the whole menstrual process, like about the changes that is coming to your body, like what happens when these changes come to your body, like how you bleed, from where, like and how long you bleed, how to manage. All of those are still like not talked about a lot in this in the school. So that is one thing. Second thing is because of the taboo and the stigma attached to menstruations, like there is silence. Some of the girls, I think they do not have information about the sanitary products. There are lots of sanitary products that are available in the market. They will know only the regular pads and all that, and they do not have the information on alternative pads and menstrual products. Also because I think some still have problem in accessing the sanitary products because they come from different economic background, right? So due to that, they might use cloth or something that is not hygienic when you are using.
Women's Empowerment Decks, not only on World Menstruation Day, but normally your team keeps going about and creating awareness on menstruation in different Tibetan communities where you meet all kinds of women from all walks of life. So how do you approach the people attending the workshop?
When we organize workshops, in the community, we have different settings. One is in school, one is in the community, and it's also in the nunneries, right? And these participants are also from different age and background. So when we go to a school, we will focus mainly on the menstruation process. We will talk about puberty, what changes come to your body, how you bleed and all that. And in a community setting, we have women of different age group, right? So there we'll be talking about menstruation, of course, the whole cycle, but we will focus more on the phases of the menstruation. So the women can get to know about whether they want to get pregnant or not, avoid pregnancy. Also, we talk about diets, how to boost our immunity, then exercises to avoid cramps and all, because we need to participate in the community and in our work. We'll provide them information on the various products that are available and they can make the right choice. In the nunneries, right, because it's a different setting itself, nuns, they have different way of living. So we usually talk about the health issues that come out of the menstruation if we do not take care of the menstrual health and hygiene.
So Tsidanla, disposal of used sanitary products is still a big concern for the environment. Can you tell us the proper way of disposing our used sanitary products and what kind of disposal should be avoided? Can you tell us briefly about sustainable menstruation?
There are different ways to dispose the used product, but the most common I think is that you just wrap the used product in a piece of paper or newspaper or a waste paper and then put it in the dustbin, because that is the best that one can do. And also because if you just throw it without wrapping, it is unhygienic, and it's also unhygienic for those who comes to collect the waste, the waste pickers and all. So I think we need to take responsibility and dispose it in a proper way. The other way to dispose is if we have incinerators, that is a machine that burns the used product when you put it and it turns it into an ash, But that is if you have installed it in the vicinity in your environment, you can use that. We should also talk about sanitary products that are available in the market. So most of the sanitary pads that we use are the ones from the shop, say if I say product like Whisper or Stay Free and all that, these are not biodegradable. They are made of non-biodegradable products. So when we use it and we throw it, this creates a mountain of waste. In a women's life, you use every month you use a product and then you throw it and it's a ton of waste. And then count all the women in the world and then you have like I said before, mountains of waste each month, each year, and it's still growing, right? So that's when the sustainable menstruation comes into play. So sustainable menstruation is the practice of using eco-friendly or taking a responsible, responsibility with menstrual products that you use. Today there are lots of alternatives to the regular pads, such as the cloth pads that is also reusable. You can use it again. And then there is a menstrual cup that is long lasting. You can use it for 10 years and all that. And then you also have biodegradable pads, that is made out of plants. You can use it and then it can be decomposed. So that is what these are the other options that's coming up. So, but in the end, we need to really research and do a study before we use any of this product, because sometimes they can just say for the sake of advertisement and just sell it, but it can still harm our body. So we need to make a conscious decision.
So a woman's body goes through a lot of physical and emotional change while growing up, and one of the change is menopause, where most of the women, they face strong mood swings. How is menopause concerned with mental health?
Menopause, like menstruation, is also a biological process, right? A natural process, and it happens at the end of the menstruation. You know, when your menstruation is it's the time that your menstruation stops.
Yeah.
So that can occur in your late 40s or 50s, and that is when the ovary, right, our ovary in the uterus, it stops producing the egg, and it also stops producing the hormone estrogen. You know, estrogen. So because of these changes, right, these like no eggs, no less hormone estrogen, it causes changes to your body. Like you will feel hot, you know, sweaty, hot flashes. You will feel bloated, you know, because of the hormone imbalances. It also affects your brain, and that is when mental health comes into being, because when the changes happen to your body, it also affects your mental being. Like if a woman has a previous issues of depression or anxiety or something, these hormone imbalances affects these issue, and then it also resurface depression, anxiety. You also feel very moody, you know. And these all affects not just the physical, mental, but our social relation. So when we talk about menstruation, we also need to talk about menopause, because this is a full circle, you know. And women in our community and elsewhere, we lose focus on this. We just it is good that we focus more on menstruation, but I think we also need to talk about menopause. That is also affecting women who are towards the end of
Towards the end of the period cycle.
Yeah.
So apart from the individual responsibility regarding menstruation, what could a society do as a team to promote menstrual hygiene?
So the menstrual health and hygiene, it's just not a matter of concern to just women, women and individual. I think the whole society has a responsibility in providing a safe menstrual health and hygiene management. So what can a society do? Firstly, we need to create awareness, as I said before. We can include these in our education programs or also in our health programs, because most of the health programs related to women are only about pregnancy, or only about the sexual problems or health problems like STD or something. We also include boys and men in our awareness workshops, so that they also are able to come out of these misconception and have a different perspective, they don't consider that blood is impure or something. Providing a safe, clean, sanitation facility like washroom, water, providing all these sanitary products, making it free. All of these are very important, and I think society needs to consider these
facilities.
Sanitary products, because it's a personal choice, you can buy the usual ones and the other alternatives. So buying that also is a lot of a strain on and you need to every month, because of that, the family can feel there's a lot of expenditure on women and all that. But it is we need to know that it's a health issue and it's a human rights issue of a girl, right?
Yeah, so Sadhana, like you said, we all know that the main motive behind creating all this awareness is to break the silence and remove the stigma. And we are still getting there. We have not got there yet. Because of the awareness that's being created, we really hope that we'll get there really soon. Thank you, Chitanla, for giving us more information about menstruation, and thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next episode of In Conversation with Tibet TV.